Chapter 796. Michael plucked up the courage to say, "Mom, even if the court sentences you to prison one day, Harold, Olivia, and I will be able to live a simple and stable life if we have the money. However, if you refuse to take the antiques out of hiding, then the three of us will definitely starve to death if you are sentenced to prison." "Starve to death?" Lady Richard replied coldly, "All three of you have hands and feet. You won't starve to death if you just go out to the streets and work as a community worker." "Michael, let me tell you something, the batch of antiques left behind by your father is for my retirement fund. You shouldn't have any funny ideas about it." Michael could no longer hold back his anger and he stood up as he said coldly, "The things left behind by my father is also for the sake of his children and grandchildren. Who gave you the rights to keep everything for yourself?" Lady Richard replied coldly, "So what? Are you going to rebel against me now? All right then. You can yell and scream at me as much as you want. When I am dead, none of you will know where the antiques are hidden at." After that, the old woman snorted as she said, "Anyway, I am already an old woman who can't live for much longer. It doesn't even matter to me if I die now. Before I die, I'll make sure to draft up a will stating that I'll donate all of my life insurance money to charity. I won't even leave a single cent to the three of you at all. The three of you are all completely incapable of working and earning a living for yourselves. At that time, you'll definitely be reduced to the bottom of the society and suffer a lot more hardships in time to come." Michael was a little stunned when he heard Lady Richard's words. There was nothing else he could do. He did not have any other way. Having no money and no ability had always been the biggest problem for him and his children. If the old lady really decided to donate all of her life insurance money to charity when she died, there would be no hope left for the family of three anymore. Therefore, Michael could only suppress his anger as he said humbly, "Mom, I'm sorry I lost my patience. Please don't take it to heart and blame me for my harsh words." Lady Richard sneered before she said arrogantly, "This is how you should have behaved from the very start." At this time, several cars from the bank and court suddenly stopped at the entrance of the Richard family villa. A large number of uniformed law enforcement officers and several bank managers came forward and banged on their front door. The entire family was extremely surprised at the sudden loud commotion. Harold hurriedly stood up before he opened the front door. As soon as he opened the front door, Harold was stunned at the sight that greeted him. A large number of men suddenly rushed into the Richard family villa and many security guards started to blockade the scene. At this time, the person in charge, who was also the representative from the court, stepped into the villa before he approached Lady Richard who was eating her dinner. He quickly asked, "Are you the person in charge of the Richard group?" Before Lady Richard could even reply, the person conveniently said, "On behalf of the district court, I would like to formally inform you that multiple creditors of yours have already filed a joint application with the court to request for Richard Group and all the assets and properties owned under your name to be frozen with immediate effect. Therefore, all accounts under the Richard Group and everything that you own under your personal name will be frozen in order to fulfill your repayment obligations." Lady Richard was shocked and she blurted out, "I just paid more than $1 million to the bank. The manager of the bank even told me that he would give me a period of grace to raise some money to repay my debts. Why did the bank suddenly change its mind?" The other party replied coldly, "The bank considers that you have no way to make any more profits and it would be completely impossible for you to repay your debt even if we delayed the payment period. Therefore, the bank has decided to team up with your other creditors to initiate a joint application to seize all assets under your name. You have 1 hour to pack up your belongings and move out of the villa immediately. We are going to seal this place up." "What?" Lady Richard stood up and she was trembling as she blurted out, "You are going to seize all my assets and seal up my villa? Why?" The other party replied coldly, "Of course it is because you cannot repay the money that you owe the bank and your creditors. Do not say that I did not give you a reminder. You are only allowed to take away your clothing, toiletries, and any ordinary furniture. You have to leave all of your cash, luxury goods, and valuables behind.